The policeman walked down the street in a proud way. He always looked proud, not just for show, because there were not many people around. It was almost 10 o'clock at night, and cold winds with a little rain had made the streets empty. As he walked, he tried the doors to see if they were locked, spun his stick in fun ways, and looked around the quiet street. The policeman, strong and confident, looked like a good guard. This area usually went to bed early. Sometimes you could see the lights of a cigar shop or a place to eat open all night, but most stores were closed. In the middle of one block, the policeman slowed down. In the doorway of a dark store, a man was standing with an unlit cigar in his mouth. When the policeman got closer, the man spoke quickly. "It's okay, officer," he said, trying to be friendly. "I'm just waiting for a friend. We agreed to meet here 20 years ago. It sounds a bit funny, doesn't it? I can explain if you want to make sure everything is fine. A long time ago, there used to be a restaurant here called Big Joe Brady's Restaurant. Until 5 years ago," said the policeman. "They tore it down then." The man in the doorway struck a match and lit his cigar. The light showed a pale face with sharp eyes and a little white scar near his right eyebrow. He had a big diamond pin on his scarf. 20 years ago tonight," said the man, "I had dinner here at Big Joe Brady's with my best friend Jimmy Wells. He was the best friend in the world. We grew up here in New York like brothers. I was 18 and Jimmy was 20. The next morning, I was going to the West to make money. Jimmy never wanted to leave New York. He thought it was the best place in the world. We agreed that night to meet here again in exactly 20 years, no matter what. We thought that in 20 years, we would have our lives and fortunes settled." "It sounds interesting," said the policeman, "but it's a long time between meetings. Have you heard from your friend since you left?" "Well, yes, for a while we wrote letters," said the other man. "But after a year or two, we lost contact. You see, the West is very big and I moved around a lot. But I know Jimmy will meet me here if he is alive. He was always the most loyal and true friend. He will never forget. I came 1,000 miles to stand in this doorway tonight, and it's worth it if my old friend comes." The waiting man took out a fancy watch with small diamonds on it. 3 minutes to 10, he said. "It was exactly 10 o'clock when we left each other here at the restaurant door. Did pretty well out west, didn't you?" asked the policeman. "You bet. I hope Jimmy did half as well. He was a bit slow, but a good man. I had to work very hard to make my money. A man gets comfortable in New York. It takes the West to make him sharp." The policeman spun his stick and took a few steps. "I'll be on my way. Hope your friend comes. Are you going to leave if he's late?" "No," said the other man. "I'll wait at least half an hour. If Jimmy is alive, he will be here by then. Goodbye, officer." "Good night, sir," said the policeman, walking away, checking doors as he went. Now there was a light, cold rain, and the wind blew harder. The few people on the street walked quickly and quietly, with their coat collars turned up and hands in their pockets. The man who had come 1,000 miles to meet his old friend smoked his cigar and waited. He waited about 20 minutes. Then a tall man in a long coat, with the collar turned up to his ears, came quickly from the other side of the street. He went straight to the waiting man. "Is that you, Bob?" he asked, unsure. "Is that you, Jimmy Wells?" cried the man in the doorway. "Bless my heart," said the new man, holding both of the other's hands. "It's Bob, sure as fate. I knew I'd find you here if you were still alive. Wow, 20 years is a long time. The old restaurant is gone, Bob. I wish it was still here, so we could have another dinner there. How has the West treated you, old friend?" "Great. It has given me everything I wanted. You've changed a lot, Jimmy. I never thought you were so tall by 2 or 3 inches. Oh, I grew a bit after I was 20. Are you doing well in New York, Jimmy?" "Not bad. I have a job in one of the city offices. Come on, Bob. We'll go to a place I know and have a good long talk about old times." The two men started walking down the street, arm in arm. The man from the West, feeling proud of his success, began to tell the story of his life. The other man, hidden in his big coat, listened with interest. At the corner, there was a drugstore, bright with electric lights. When they came into the light, they both turned to look at each other's face. The man from the West stopped suddenly and let go of the other man's arm. "You're not Jimmy Wells," he said sharply. 20 years is a long time, but not long enough to change a man's nose from long to short. It sometimes changes a good man into a bad one, said the tall man. "You've been under arrest for 10 minutes, Silky Bob. Chicago thinks you might have come here and sent us a message that they want to talk to you. Are you coming quietly? That's smart. Now, before we go to the station, here's a note I was asked to give you. You can read it here by the window. It's from Policeman Wells." The man from the West opened the small piece of paper given to him. His hand was steady when he started to read, but it shook a little by the time he finished. The note was short. "Bob, I was at the place on time. When you lit your cigar, I saw it was the face of the man wanted in Chicago. I couldn't arrest you myself, so I went and got another policeman to do it. Jimmy."